Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to Plants vs. Germans. In today's video, I would like to talk about chickens, and especially how chickens can be quite beneficial to your garden. So, let's get started. So, first of all, the main reason why you should get chickens is because they lay eggs. A chicken normally produces like 0.7 eggs a day on average. This can vary. During summer times they tend to lay more eggs, and during winter times or during cooler periods they tend to lay less eggs. So during the summer you can probably get like an egg per day, and during winter when the temperatures drop for around 3 months, if you live in a colder climate such as I do in Germany, then you can probably get like 2 eggs every 3 days, sometimes only 1 egg every 2 days. But chickens lay a lot of eggs, and that should be the main reason for you to get chickens. Please don't forget, chickens are living animals. You have to care for them, so you can't just buy chickens and just leave them somewhere on their own. It works sometimes if they have a big enough area, but you normally have to care for them and feed them. So please keep that in mind. Chicken aren't really expensive animals. They cost around 7 to 12 euros here in Germany. So if you feel like getting some, just 3 or 4 to see if it works out for you, it doesn't cost that much. But what you definitely need is a chicken pen or a chicken coop. You need some kind of housing, some area where they can roam, where they feel happy and safe. The housing is necessary, especially during the nighttime, to keep them safe from predators such as foxes and different predatory animals. So let's start to talk about why chickens can be quite beneficial to your garden. I'm right here in my chicken coop. We have a small house for them to stay overnight, and they have a certain area here, goes all the way around here, where they can roam. And you can see a lot of small trees and bushes growing here, and that's mainly the reason because we have a lot of predatory birds in this area, and we don't have a rooster because you don't necessarily need a rooster, and the trees shelter them from those big birds that would actually snatch your chickens away. You can already see the main reason why it's beneficial to keep chicken. Like, you see all the soil here, and what this is actually, or mainly is chicken manure. The chickens eat your kitchen scraps and obviously have to poop it out at some point, and this poop, if it mixes and degrades over time, is a perfect fertilizer for your vegetables and fruit trees. And what I normally do is, you can see some holes here. Some are dug up by the chickens, but most of them are dug up by me. I just dig up some of the soil here and mix it with normal garden soil to create a fertilized soil for my plants. And I would not recommend using only chicken manure because it's really highly nutritious and some plants might die because of it. It's not always that mucky right now. It just rained a lot lately, so I have to deal with it. So do the chickens. Chicken manure is actually quite perfect for the garden. Other than horse manure, it doesn't take that long to break down. So this chicken manure I can actually use right now. And I mix it up so it won't get too strong. It doesn't have too many nutrients, the soil. I try to limit the nutrients for some of my plants and rather give them a bit less and then start giving a bit more later on, not to burn them right away. As I said, you can make a healthy mix and take half of your garden soil, maybe old soil, and half of the chicken manure and mix it up together so you can actually prep your old soil and don't have to dump away all the old soil that you have left from your season. I would recommend using the chicken manure for your potted plants if you maybe have a small raised bed or some kind of big pot that uses some fixing up. use the chicken manure for this because, as I showed you, if you just take out all the soil, the chickens won't have any soil left, and that's not really the reason for doing that. But let's get to the next strong point of keeping chicken for your garden. What chickens are actually quite useful for is eating all the kitchen scraps that are left over from cooking, or all the scraps left over from your garden. So what we normally do is we have just a pile here. It's kind of like a compost pile, and we throw all of our leftovers from the kitchen, like all our biological waste basically, on this pile, and the chickens eat almost anything. And they do that quite well. Like, you don't see, we normally throw stuff on there every day and you can hardly see anything left. Like, they actually eat it quite good, and you can see they already think that I have something for them. That's why all of my chickens are following me. So other than laying eggs, the strongest point for keeping chickens is probably the chicken manure, because you can just use it for every plant in your garden, but also as a biological garbage can basically. They can just eat all of your leftovers and actually produce more chicken manure that you can use in your garden to fertilize your plants, to grow some new vegetables, that some of them probably land back here and the chickens start eating it again. So it's kind of a cycle, which is very nice because you don't really have to waste a lot in the garden. You can just dump it to the chickens and see if they eat it. So the 3 strongest points for keeping chicken in your garden are the eggs, obviously, the chicken manure, and eating the kitchen scraps. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.